Welcome back to another episode of the DFS Express presented by Loudmouth MMA and MMAtoday.com. I am your host, the Daily Fantasy Sniper, here to talk UFC Fight Night 121 from Sydney, Australia. Coming at you if you are watching this on YouTube from a new location here. I'm in a hotel room on the road for work, but not going to let that stop me giving you guys some information on DraftKings. Going to go through every fight on this Sydney card. The main event, by the way, is Verdum and Tybura. Going to go through every fight in 10 minutes, do a tournament lineup build, giving you picks who I think is the better DraftKings play, especially on this card, really is different than the fight picks. There is not a lot of value this week, struggling to find people priced under 8,100 that you could really trust. So all that being said, actually, before we get into it, please give me, if you don't already, a follow on Twitter at the DFS Sniper. Also, subscribe to my YouTube page, same name, and give a thumbs up to this video or podcast wherever you are listening and watching. Now we can get into the fights. First up, main event, Fabricio Verdum, 9,300 versus Marcin Tybura, 6,900. I think this is a fight you can target. Either way, Verdum is the heavy favorite. I have a bias against Verdum. I've never been overly impressed. I have to make that clear right away. It's only fair. So for that reason, there's better places on this card to go for the big favorites, I think. No, it's more fair to say Tybura as a heavyweight GPP option. 6,900, you need the stadiums on this card. I'll take the shot at 6,900. If you play Verdum, I have no problem with it. I like the value in Tybura, especially for tournaments, so that's where I'm going to lean. I don't think Verdum's striking is great. If the fight goes to the ground, Tybura is toast. I'll take the prayer at 6,900, really hurting for value on this card. It's not a pick of Tybura straight up. I do like the savings on him, though. Beck Rawlings is in the co-main event for some reason. 8,600 against Jessica Rose Clark, 7,600. Beck Rawlings, I will never pay 8,600 for her. She's inconsistent. She's 2-3 in the UFC. Some bad losses, some not so great looking wins. I'll take the savings on the newcomer 7,600. She seems to be an all around okay prospect. Probably it's the price on this fight is probably correct both on DraftKings and the odds. But I won't invest money in Beck Rawlings, so I think Clark is the better DraftKings play at 7,600. Tim Means, 9,100, Bilal Muhammad, 7,100. This is one of the fights. This is probably, in my opinion, the best source of value on the card. I love Bilal Muhammad at 7,100. Tim Means, I think, is overpriced, a little overhyped. I had him in the rematch I had Oliveira in the rematch against Means. I think when you bring pressure towards him, he struggles with it. I think Muhammad can get takedowns. And we've seen him, other than Vicente Luque knocking him out cold with a huge shot, Bilal has shown he's pretty durable. I think it's a grinding type of fight. And Muhammad at 7,100 is firmly in play. I think really good value to win the fight straight up. I'll take Bilal Muhammad. Jake Matthews, 8,500. Bojan Velickovic, 7,700. Probably not a fight I'm going to have a ton of. They're trying to get Matthews a win. It's probably a win or be cut fight for both guys. Matthews on the home soil. He's got two losses that have aged decently in Kevin Lee, and the other one is escaping me at the moment. Kevin Lee, yeah, he has another loss that doesn't look so bad. Bojan, he won in the third round against Nico Musok. I just don't think Bojan's that good. I'm willing to give Jake Matthews another shot. On DraftKings, I'm probably not going to roster any of this fight. It's probably a full-on fade for me. If I have to lean one way, it's Jake Matthews, 8,500. It's not a strong lean. Better places to go on this card. Elias Theodorou, 9,000. Dan Kelly, 7,200. I actually like Elias Theodorou more than most people. You can tell it's my thick Pert Plus hair. Dan Kelly is just... He's got a couple wins by just being able to take a savage beating. Antonio Carlos Jr. surviving and getting a win that way. He's not a top 15 middleweight, or shouldn't be. Theodorou, say what you want about him. I know he can be boring. The guy has good ring IQ, knows how to win fights, and he's the first guy Kelly's really faced who throws leg kicks. And Kelly's knee he said it in a post-fight interview, his knee is in bad shape. I think we might see a leg kick TKO knockout. Either way, I think Theodorou beats Kelly pretty much everywhere. I think Kelly could get takedowns, but I don't think he'll be able to do much with them or hold Theodorou down. I'll take Elias at 9,000. Alexander Volkanovski, 9,500. Shane Young, 6,700. I know it's hard to pay 9,500 for a guy. Volkanovski, you can do it. It's like the third opponent he had in this card. People kept dropping off, visa issues. Volkanovski rolls through Shane Young, who is right place, right time in Australia. Young prospect getting a shot here. Way too much, way too soon. Volkanovski is a legit prospect in that division. I'll take Volkanovski at 9,500. Ryan Benoit against Ashkan Mokhtarian. Two guys who are just not good. This is not similar to the first fight, guys. You're hurting for value on this card outside of Muhammad. I don't think Benoit's any good. 8,900 for him. I can't pay. I don't want to pay 7,300 for Mokhtarian. I don't want to invest any money in this fight. This is probably another full-on fade for me. But just because of the price savings, I'll take Mokhtarian at 7,300 and feel pretty terrible about it. Will Brooks, 9,400. Nick Lentz, 6,800. Again, stars and scrubs may be the way to go this week. You build your core, your three favorite stars, and try and mix in some upsets you think could happen. Nick Lentz shouldn't be, he can't make weight anymore. His fight is rescheduled. Will Brooks rolls through Nick Lentz. He needs a win badly. He's a better caliber fighter than he's shown. He's had, he's lost to some decent guys. I know he came in hype, but Nick Lentz, as much as Will Brooks has struggled, Nick Lentz is not in his level. I'll take Will Brooks at 9,400. Tai Tuivasa, 8,800, making his UFC debut against Rashad Coulter, 7,400. Coulter took a beating in the Chase Sherman fight, got outstruck by him. Tuivasa is a training partner of Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt says he can, the hardest hitter he stood across from. It showed in his fights. Where Tuivasa would struggle is if somebody has a wrestling game. Coulter doesn't have it. They're going to stand and trade. Tuivasa is going to, in my opinion, just knock his head off. 8,800 for Tai Tuivasa. He's the pick. Frank Camacho, 8,400. Damian Beatdown Brown, 7,800. I'm leaning towards Brown right now. Again, the price savings comes into it. It's one of those places where either guy could win this fight. Camacho, what's making me lean towards Brown in this close fight, the deciding factor, is the gas tank. He gasses more than just the Li Jinglong fight. I'll take Damian Beatdown Brown for 7,800. Nadia Kassim is a favorite at 8,300, making her UFC debut against Alex Chambers, 7,900. Kassim has fought nobody but has steamrolled through them, something you don't usually see in women's MMA. Chambers is not good in the UFC before this 2-year layoff. I'm going to lean Kassim because I've been burned by Chambers and I can't put any money into her. I'll take Nadia Kassim at 8,300. Eric Shelton, 9,200 against Janelle Laus at 7,000. Hard to pay 9,200 for Eric Shelton. He's a good all-around fighter. Janelle Laus is bad, though. I'll take Eric Shelton, 9,200. There could be better spots to pay up for on this card, but Laus is not a spot I'm willing to pay down. So I will take Eric Shelton at 9,200. Adam Wojorek, 8,700. Anthony Hamilton, 7,500. A stiff breeze knocks over Anthony Hamilton. I refuse to bet on him. I have tons of money on Wojorek, which means I could be burned, but Wojorek is good on the ground. He can throw a jab, which knocks out Hamilton. All signs to me point Adam Wojorek at 8,700. Okay, so now we switch over to DraftKings. Again, we're going to build a tournament lineup this week, looking for finishes. My strategy this week, I'm pretty sure, record this on Wednesday night, is going to be stars and scrubs. That means high price fighters, low price fighters. Try and pick the right value pieces. So I'm going to sort. I just sorted by price. Who am you most confident in? You pick 2 or 3 guys. For me, Volkanovski is 1. Will Brooks for Doom, Shelton, Means, Theodorou. Tai Tuivasa is likely, if he wins, to score huge at 8,800. He's not going to break the bank. For me, I might pay up for Will Brooks a bunch, but I'm going to try and save a little bit here because it's been well known in podcasts and other videos. I don't like Anthony Hamilton at all. I'm going to roster Wojorek for sure. Gives us 7,600. I'm now going to come up and 7,600 remaining per fighter for the last 3 spots. I'm going to sort opposite. Bilal Muhammad's a guy I like to win his fight straight up. So that's a good pick here. 7,950 left per fighter. This is where things get a little interesting, and you can do a lot of different things. I want to try and stick to what I already covered in this episode. It's not a terrible play in my opinion to play Tybora, and then you can pay up in other spots. Mokhtarian. I think Clark is going to be relatively popular for underdogs. If you can play, Clark and then come down, and you can fit in Nadia Kassim, who has been rolling through people. That gives you a little contrarian. So we just built Volkanovski, Tuivasa, Wajork, Muhammad, Clark, and Kassim. If you don't like that option, I'll take Clark and Kassim out. You could come down and you could put in Marcin Tybura, and then you can pay all the way back up to a guy like Theodoro. I don't mind that option at all. Theodoro, Tybura, Muhammad, Wajork, Tuivasa, Volkanovski. So we actually just built 2 tournament lineups. I hope you guys enjoy UFC Sydney. Make some money on DraftKings. Please like this episode. Also leave me some comments on YouTube. I'm always open to interact with you guys, talk fights, hopefully in a calm, rational, non-YouTube comment-like way, but those are always appreciated, and definitely give me a follow on Twitter. Again, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I will see you next week.